Hi, dear friends. Welcome to today's edition of your favorite program, Multiplying Your Productivity. So glad to have this edition. To be back here. There was a break in the month of July. I know you've missed the program. But due to some, trying to put some things in place to continue to ensure that we give, I continue to deliver a quality program. All right. So how's it been? I hope your week has been great. All right. So today, we're going to be looking at a very interesting topic called the power of value creation. The power of value creation. And I still remain your host, Tunji Bango. Now, what is value, right? What's value? How do you define value? So value has to do with something that has got what? Something that has got benefits in it, right? Something that has got what? Something that has got benefits in it. So that's what you call value. So in order for you to multiply your productivity, you've got to be thinking, how do I create value? How do I create value? How do I sustain it? Who needs the value? And I'm going to be basing this discussion on a case study, right? And that's going to be the case study of YouTube, the YouTube founders. So allow me to share my screen. And there we go. Now, what do you observe in as the difference between the the accounts on the left and the accounts on the right? Right? If you observe, the account on the left is Jawed. That happens to be one of the co-founders of YouTube. At present, he's only got 3.87 million subscribers on his channel. Now, what about the person to the left? I'm sorry, to the right. To my right. So that happens to be Mr. Beast, one of the top 3 highest subscribed channels on YouTube, right? Highest subscribed channels on YouTube. That's Mr. Beast. Now, this guy has got a whooping 173 million subscribers. Now, take a look at this. The guy on the left happens to be a co-founder of a product, right? Co-founder of a product, but then can you compare like what's the, I mean, this other guy, like, he's not even having up to 10%. Do you understand what I'm saying? The co-founder of YouTube doesn't even have up to 10% of the amount of subscribers that someone using his platform that he helped create, has got. So that's what you need to consider, right? You need to consider the fact that it's not about you. Yeah, it's not about you. It's about the value you want to add to the lives of other people. So if you want to multiply your productivity, just quit thinking about yourself. Quit thinking about yourself, right? Quit thinking about yourself. So value has been created. These guys have helped create value. So 3 guys came together, Jawed and 2 other guys that were former colleagues came together and they thought of creating a dating app, right? Thought about creating a dating app. And there you go. They tried the dating app, didn't really work. And then, well, maybe it did work because the people started using the platform for other things, to just post random videos, not just necessarily about wanting to date, right? And that was how it evolved into the YouTube we've got today. And that's like 18 years ago, right? And that was like 2005. The rest, like they say, is history. These guys created that company that has now become more valued at over billions of dollars. Just think about it. They created value. I mean, the platform right now you're using to watch this is on YouTube. Thankfully, I mean, thanks to the work of these guys. So value has to do with something that people are going to like, something that people are going to enjoy. So what are you thinking of creating? Is it a product or a service? It's not about you. So if you're going to be thinking of the wealth you want to generate from that service or that platform right from the start, you're being selfish. Yeah, I hate to say this, but you're being selfish. So just think and say, it's not about me, it's about the value that I want to add to people's lives. And look at this, right? If value goes out from you, value will surely return. How do I know? And that's because, you know, that's because one good turn deserves another. Yeah, I mean, it's really interesting to know that the influence that some people, the kind of wealth some people have made from the platform, right? That is, I mean, it's nothing to be compared to what. So I mean, I tried checking the net worth of these three co-founders on Wikipedia. I didn't find anything. Well, I mean, if you look at someone that has got 173 million subscribers, these guys will be cashing out big time. So don't let it shock you that they've even helped create a platform that would even make some other people richer than them. So that's it, right? So your service could just be an enabler to somebody else's service. It's like a network provider, that is providing internet service for a bank. It doesn't necessarily mean the network provider is richer than the bank. They're just helping provide a service that is helping another business. You see what I'm talking about? So think, in order to multiply your productivity, right? Just think less of you. It's not just about you. It's about others. What value can you add to others? I challenge you today, right? If you're so good at what you do and currently you're not being paid for it, or maybe you don't have a job, think, are there people that I can offer that service to that for free? Yeah, just try for free. Just try for free. Just, if you're so good at that thing, I'm sure you won't be afraid of trying it for free. So just try. How can I try it for free, so yeah, you see sometimes some struggling artists, or not so popular artists, you just see them on some high street, or some corner of the street playing guitar or playing the piano. Just, music is the food of love. Is it food of love or food of life? It makes the world go round. Is it love? So you just see them like play music. Sometimes they put a bowl there so people can drop money. Sometimes they're just playing it and just having fun. And then some of them have become famous through that avenue. I mean, when people come around, they enjoy what you're playing. I mean, just on and on like that. Like you just realize that, wow, they're just playing the music, they're just doing the music to just make people happy. And then I know people that, boom, so a lot of the initiatives we are celebrating today, like Facebook, they did not start out charging people. They started out first off as, let's make it free. Okay, let's just add value to people. So value creation. So what kind of value are you creating? What kind of value are you creating? Is there your place of work? Are you adding value to the lives of others? Are you making their lives better? And making their lives better. So just think, right? We're going to be remembered for three things when we're gone. We're going to be remembered for the problems created, the problems we solved, the problems we saw and ignored. Okay, so what are you doing about that, right? So yeah, I just thought I should, put up that, the case study of, the case study of YouTube. So just think about it today, right? That what can I do differently? What can I create? Or how do I make my service even better? So what you're currently doing, how do you make it better? How do you make sure that people like it, that people enjoy it? Find that niche. Someone somewhere has got to need that product or service. Yeah. I'm sure we're created to, to solve a unique problem. Each of us, we're unique. Our DNAs are unique, right? So there's got to be someone that you can do. Some people are good at smiling, right? And you probably should be thinking of modeling because the world needs more smile. There are lots of angry people out there. So just being able to smile is a gift, right? Just being able to smile, like I'm smiling right now. Well, just so you know, I've also dabbled into a bit of picture modeling, and then even runway modeling. So I was watching a video yesterday of a guy that was just in his he was right there in his house, and right there, I think, in the garden, and then he just was doing a catwalk. He was in a catwalk, or was doing like a runway, like a runway walk, amateur video. And next up was the guy was already invited by some big modeling firm, I think in the US, and that's how they discovered him. Put his content out there, and that was it. It was just trying out, bare chested. It was, not even muscular. Like someone picked him right there. I mean, that's interesting. So and is adding value already, right? Is helping promote brands and what have you on the runway. So just think, right? What can I do? What value do I have to offer? So in the marketplace, it's about value, right? It's about value. And I tell you, customers are so discerning, right? So they're always thinking, what value can I get for less? Meaning, so just think about it to say, why do I have to pay more when someone else is offering it for less or even free, right? That's value. I mean, how did Android start? Android is an open source, it's open source, right? So it's open source. And so think about it, that when you can get it for free, why do you have to pay for it? Right? So that's value. As long as I can get value, I can use it for what I want or what I need. That's value. So how can people use your services or your product to get what they want or what they need? I give you an example. I'm a consultant and trainer. And so the kind of services I offer help individuals and organizations to upskill upskill their employees. And then, help them to deliver more efficiently and more effectively, just increasing their knowledge bank. Very delicate work, isn't it? So, getting myself, to, offer, some form of advice, some form of, how can you do things differently? Just thinking outside the box, helping them to think, brainstorming, thinking of new strategies. So I do remember that I once handled a training for a national oil company, and it had to do with how they can stop oil vandalism and all that, how they can protect their pipelines and what have you. And one of the things I promoted them was SCADA, some form of supervisory technology, using drones and using lasers and what have you, whereby you can trigger an alert, you can have a control. That was what we got. That was it was on risk management, security, and what have you. Now fast forward to present day, just discovered that they're already implementing it, so they already have it in place. Well, I'm not going to take the credit for it, but I'm glad to say I've got my footprints there to be able to say, well, I once made that proposition and it wasn't in place at the time, right? But right now, they've got it in place. So that's value. I've added value. So think of individuals. I normally say this to my trainees, that a lot of you come in to take maybe some project management trainings or risk management, or lots of courses that I teach. It is not an end. It's a means to an end. So a lot of time they're trying to use that certification to maybe get a job, or to relocate to a different clime, or to just get more opportunities, to get promoted, to be more relevant in the marketplace. So yeah, right? Always thinking, right? Always thinking, what can I do? What value can I add? How do you lift others? That business, of lifting others, helping others to rise. You see what I'm talking about? Helping others to soar, to discover themselves. I like to take a quote from one of the, biggest, pop artists, in Afro pop artists in Nigeria, Davido. He says, we rise by lifting others. Yeah, we rise by lifting others. So that's value. Get others, get others happy, get others smiling, get others thankful that you exist. Yeah, that's how to multiply your productivity. Thinking less of self. It's not about you. So, if what life is about is getting all you can and canning all you get. Then what's going to happen? You're going to have to sit on the can, right? You're not going to go far, right? I said that again. If all about life, if you think all you are created for is to get all you can get all you can all you get, and sit on the can, you won't go far. I mean, somebody needs to really take note of that. You're going to sit on the can, you're just going to be stationary, you're not going to move far at all. But if what you can do is spread it, spread that value. It's not about you, right? It's not about you. It's about others. A lot of a lot of what we're enjoying today are results of people's brain child. Somebody created this, and that's always in my drive from growing up. Like, usually a lot of times, like, it's usually a thing of envy when I'm citing, some laws or theories by Archimedes principle, law of gravitational law, some laws of motion by, so when I'm quoting all of that, it's always a thing of envy to me to say Newton's law of motion. Like, why can't it be Tunji's laws of motion? Like, you see what I'm talking about? Like, so these guys are long gone, but we're still schools, their laws are still being taught in schools. Interesting, right? Their laws are still being taught in schools. I mean, guys, yet again, if you look at, the Facebook, illustration, I mean, it's just amazing. It's just amazing to know that, wow, how can, one, just think about it, right? How did one person's initiative or some people's initiative, help create a lot of wealth? I mean, how many people have become wealthy just by being influencers on Facebook, on Instagram, on Twitter, on, TikTok. Just think of all those platforms. Some people are so happy, like right now, like some people's bills are being paid just because someone thought. I was about saying they sat down and thought, but maybe they were even walking, or maybe they were taking their baths or something. Like, someone created value. So yes, value, value, value. So today is all about value. You've got to be thinking, so how can I create value? So just look around you. There are problems to be solved, right? One of the stories I'd like to share is, talking about problems, right? Identifying problems. I've been teaching project management for over a decade now. So one of the courses that I teach, I usually observe that trainees, right, struggle with understanding the methodology. There's a particular methodology that has to do with, maybe process groups, knowledge areas, and some processes, just like a table. How do people, a lot of people struggle with it. So I've had instances where people come to the training to say, wow, this is my second training and I still don't get it. Like, first time I did it was just gibberish. How can I decode this? How can I make this easier for people? Wow. So I had to do research, and I felt, what can we do to make people understand this thing better? And I sat with a team, and voila, we created a board game. Created a board game. So, work with my team, created a board game, and will have people play it in class. And I tell you, someone that don't understand, that is unconsciously incompetent, day one of my training, don't know jack about don't even know that framework exists, the methodology, don't even know anything about it from day one. And in the final day, it's usually a 4-day training. So in the final day, day 4, this person is able to create that table. That's amazing. The result was phenomenal. Tested it, tried it, and it worked. And so I got people buying the board game. Yeah, got people buying the board game. So bought the board game. So they are happy. Their needs are being met. They're achieving their goals. It's enabling them to pass the exam while I'm also making money. You see what I'm talking about? Yeah, so we had a good run. So on and on, just kind of helped me to create a learning solutions company called ProSharp, where we now focus on learning solutions and flashcard games and e-learning and what have you. So that's it. That's it, guys. Just think about value. There are problems all around you. People have got problems, right? People have got problems. So if you can come up with a solution, right? Oftentimes people are willing to pay. Depends on how badly they need it. So is it a need or is it a want? Right? Is it a need or is it a want? So just think niche. What niche can you have? What niche market? What niche can you create? Can you carve for yourself? So that's guy. We've got to be more productive. Is there a work? How do you stand out? How do you stand out? What problems can you help your colleagues solve? I mean, some people are just there. Like if you don't show up at work, people are going to miss you because you create that energy, that vibe in the office. That's the value you're adding to the team. They need you around because everywhere is dull without you. Some people are just the life of the party, right? So that's it. So just think, right? What can I do differently? So if right now you're out of a job, I've got good news for you. I mean, you watching this right now, is a sign that you actually desire a change. So one of the things I will encourage you is, as long as you've got a smartphone, you've got internet, right? Just start going up there to say, you know what, on your social media handles, think about the various questions people might have in your area of strengths. So, for example, how can I apply for a Canadian visa, for example, or how can I pass my PMP exam, or how can I pass the Prince 2 exam? So maybe for you to have passed it, or you say things like, how do I buy a house? So I have a friend that, has got experience in real estate, business. So you can say, for example, how do I buy my first property in London? Or how do I save up? How do I go? What's mortgage all about? So maybe you're into accounting. Like I've got a friend, that is also a social media influencer, and all he does is giving financial or accounting tips. Yeah, it's an accountant, just an accountant at that, but he gives a lot of free tips on LinkedIn, on Facebook. It's interesting, and he runs a business. So it's getting more popular, right? It's getting more visible, featuring on TV programs, as a TV host and adding value to people, and then one way or another, that should also trickle down to the business. You see what I'm talking about? Because every time they're introducing you, oh yeah, today we have with us the CEO of ProSharp Limited in person of Joseph Adetunji Banwo. Welcome to CNN. This is me few moments from now, few years from now. Yes, because I really desire it, right? So they already introduced you, just that subtle introduction to say, now, what's your take on, the current state of the HS2 project as a project management consultant? What can you tell us about it? And I'm going to give an expert opinion, maybe in just about 5 minutes, just that interview, just 5 minutes, of my time, just that introduction to say, also to note, Tunji Banwo is the author of Principles of Effective Project Management and is the CEO and founder of Banwo Consulting Limited Nigeria, ProSharp Limited UK. Thank you for coming for today's program. I'm like, wow, on CNN, on BBC, on Al Jazeera. Cool. Now, what have I given? Value. I'm giving my opinion on the state of some, World Bank project or some, international events and what have you. Maybe trying to assess the performance of the last Olympics to say, was it a successful project and all that. So just giving my opinion, right? I've added value. Think about it. I've added value. I've added value. And so one way or another, it should trickle down. People want to find out, who is this guy? So that's the way it is, right? That's the way it is. So you've got to be thinking, how can I make other people happy? It's not about you. All right. You're not created. The purpose of your life is not just about you. You see what I'm talking about? No, just think. So you've got like some people you're sent to. Yeah, you've got some people that should listen to. Every one of us is an influencer. you're either influencing people wrongly or you're influencing them well. Yes, think about it. So how can you use that influence? Think about it. How can you use that influence? Right? Just is it what you know? Is it who you know? Right? Is it what you can do, your abilities? Just think, right? Sit, think, write them, pursue them, right? There are lots of problems all around the world. People want to make money, people are broke. So if you know, if you were able to come out of that trenches of being broke to now be financially independent, right? You can help someone. Yes, you can help someone. So just sharing your story. I mean, every one of us have got a story to write. One of the values you can even create is writing a book. I do believe strongly that every one of us has got an author in us, because as long as you can share your story, how did you make it this far? Somebody somewhere might even benefit from it. Somebody somewhere might be going through something similar. Say, wow, if this person can make it this far, right? Yeah, I think my story is not the worst out there. I mean, I thought my story was unique, but hey, if this person can go through this terrible thing, you know, so it's interesting. That's value. That's value, right? So value is very important. So value creation, that's how to make wealth. So if you're thinking of becoming wealthy, first don't think of the money, think of the problem to be solved. Yes, think of the problem to be solved. You know, that's it. People don't really care much, people really care how much you know until they know how much you care. So just genuinely, how are you trying to solve people's problems? Trying to solve people's problems. I mean, isn't it interesting that Facebook was created to connect people? Just networking, right? Networking. Yes, it was created to solve a problem, right? Look at the internet that we have today. I mean, the guys that created these initiatives, I'm sure they'll be forever happy that they've put smiles on millions of people, billions of people's faces. Like, it's amazing. It's amazing. So just think, what do you want to be remembered for? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Because I'm always thinking of posterity, right? I'm always thinking of posterity. I'm always thinking of beyond that. Because, in the previous edition, we've talked about living with an end in mind. Like, what do you want to be remembered for? What's your goal? What's your vision in life? So it's not just for now. It's not just about the survivor. Let me just get a job and make money and be okay, right? So big deal. And that's why a lot of people don't last on jobs, because I'm not talking about those of us that are upwardly mobile, where we don't spend too long on a job, and we're just project driven, just like we monotony kills us, right? And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about people that get a job and it's just all about to pay the bills. Is every job you're moving from, is it gearing you towards where you're going to, your goals? Or is it just about the money? Is it just the money for you? So is it just all about you, just for you to make the money, keep the money? So big deal, right? The world needs more problem solvers. There are lots of problem around the world, lots of problem around the world. I was just thinking recently that the animals that would have been affected by the heat wave, ravaging some parts of Europe right now, Greece and the likes. Like, so who's going to save those animals? I mean, first priority will be humans, but what about those animals? How will a tortoise, for example, creep, and then, escape those, the fire and what have you? So I'm just thinking, like, if someone had just thought about it, say, my goal is to just focus on the animals. How can we rescue some of these animals? Because the ecosystem will be distorted due to the wildfire. So just think here and say, okay, you're adding value to a life. I mean, animals have got life too, right? Yeah, animals have got life too. I mean, it's interesting that some countries, all they see animals for is for security or for food, but in some other countries, they see them for like pets and because they've got a life, different cultures, so just think to say, how can I add value? Yes, how can I add value? How can I put a smile on people's face? So as you go on this week, as you go on, to this month, just be thinking about value. value, value. If value goes out from you, value will surely return. Okay. So yes, and that's it, right? It's all about problem solving. It's all about, creating value. It's all about making people happy, in no time, just stay there. Just, you know, just, yeah, maintain, just sustain, just don't give up. All right. If it looks like you've been giving out a lot of value, it's not returning in due course, then you start thinking of monetizing your service. But that's because people already fell in love with it. So in the first place, you've not demonstrated value. There's no proof of concept. People don't even know what you're doing, right? So, I mean, that's it. So if, for example, I was to think of monetizing this, this program right now, I mean, when I don't even have enough people subscribing to the channel yet, I don't even have that clout. I mean, first off is even to get people to come watch it for free, you're struggling, and then you're not thinking of even charging people for it. I mean, come on, just come off it. I mean, so I'm not just going to think that, oh, I've got 30 plus certifications, so why would I be wasting my time talking for free when companies pay me, hundreds of pounds to speak per hour? So just think about it. No, that's not even what I'm thinking about right now. Okay. So I'm just always thinking, how can I help people? Genuinely, how can I help people? Somebody needs that information. So if you've really been impacted, you've gained something from today's episode of multiplying your productivity, just do well to share it, with friends and family. Do well to make sure you subscribe. Don't just watch it, subscribe, like, drop a comment. And if you got questions, based on what we've shared today on value creation, just drop it in the chat room and I will pick it up. If you got topics you would like me to address on, just productivity generally, making your life more productive, just drop it there. I'll be willing to hear from you. So that's the offering for today. Thank you for watching this. Thank you for watching this. Really, really excited. Really, really excited to have you watch this. And so stay tuned for more episodes of Multiplying Your Productivity, brought to you by your coach, Tunji Banwo. Do have a great week. Thank you. Cheers.